Good morning, Lakeside.
I'm Zoe Lawless.
And I'm Collin Gallimore.
Coming up, we have stories on the ALE Community Garden, the choir feast, and 18-year-olds voting for the first time.
To start off, let's take a look at our new sports segment, which is also just starting off.
Each week, a representative will give you the highlights from last week's sports.
Let's see what the Rams have been up to.
I feel paralyzed.
Good morning, Lakeside. This is Garrett Garner bringing you this week's Ram Report. Today we are talking about the cross-country team. They recently went to Bald Knob last Tuesday for their final meet in preparation for state, and Gideon Drake was the highest one to place for Lakeside. Let's see how it went.
I know, it's nice to see. It's kind of some out and back stuff and some loops during the course, and so to see teammates working hard when we would see them coming around the loops it was nice to help push through.
Well, there were definitely a lot more hills today. It was a little bit more difficult than some of our other meets, but Mackenzie paced with me like the whole time and kind of pushed me, so I definitely feel like I improved some today.
The team aspect of it, everybody acts like a family, and it's really warm and welcome. All the teammates that were running in my division, they were on the course cheering me on to go faster and faster, and I think I did the best that I possibly could have.
Rams on three! 1, 2, 3, Rams!
The cross-country team has had a successful season so far, and let's cheer them on as they run their state meet next Saturday. Good win by the Rams on Friday against feuding rival Hot Springs. This has been Garrett Garner signing off for Lakeside TV.
Thanks, Garrett. I look forward to another home game on Friday night versus McLean.
Speaking of sports, try out for baseball tryouts in Coach Harding's room by November 7th.
And it's not too late to sign up for the wrestling team. All you have to do is get a physical and see Coach Burchard. Practice starts at 3:30 in the green room.
While wrestling does sound difficult, another difficult activity we sometimes forget is the chess team.
If you're interested in joining, meet in Miss Slay's room Wednesday morning at 7:30. All past members must attend.
Another school event not announced much is the Christmas feast put on by choir. Did you know this year is their 20th anniversary?
Let's take a look at how much effort goes into this production.
A good piece of beef and a good piece of beef that may we all see.
The Feaste is a Christmas dinner theater. It's a 5-course meal, all done by candlelight.
Gives like a Christmas spirit to everything, and so many people have gone through and done it themselves. I think it's a really fun experience too.
I think if you've never been to the Feaste, you can't really appreciate how interesting it is and how different it is from a traditional choir concert.
2016 marks the 20th anniversary of the Lakeside Feast, but it hasn't always been Mr. Langley's project.
I know it started before Mr. Langley came. He sort of picked it up and made it better to what it is today.
When I was first hired, I was asked to keep it going. It would have been the 5th year for the Feaste.
Even though Mr. Langley didn't start the feast, he keeps the tradition going.
And the reason I keep it going now is because the students want to do it. And it is a tradition that they love.
I enjoy it because I enjoy a lot of the different songs we get to sing, and then the reactions from the people that come, they usually really enjoy it.
The choir puts in a lot of time and effort to prepare.
There's a lot of memorization involved. Like, we have, I don't know how many songs to sing, a lot. And we have to memorize all of those, which is really difficult sometimes.
Of the white maple tree, with the wasailing bow will drink to thee.
We start learning music in August, and we do that all the way through December. We start working on costumes and decorations, usually in October, November. And then the day of the feast, we spend about 2 to 3 hours transforming the cafeteria into a medieval castle.
For all the time and work spent on the feast, it will be worth your while.
It's just a very cool experience. You'll see people coming back year after year after year just because it's such a nice way to start the holiday season.
This has been Caringtan Salazar with Lakeside TV.
If you're interested in the 2018 Australia and New Zealand trip, see Miss Aiken about how to get an invitation for an informal meeting on the 14th.
Don't forget, tomorrow is Election Day.
We've got some feedback from 18-year-olds who will vote for the first time. Let's see what they have to say.
I'm 18. I turned 18 yesterday, and I voted yesterday too.
Voting for the first time can be intimidating, but it's not as scary as it sounds.
The whole process, it seemed kind of like intimidating and whatnot, but once you got in there, they were all actually really friendly. And like when I came in, they were like, "Are you a first-time voter?" And I said, "Yeah," and then they all cheered for me. They like screamed, "We got a first-time voter."
When I was young and I first started voting, oftentimes I would read the wording on the ballot issues, and it would be confusing.
Many people believe voting is an exciting process that will be remembered for years to come.
Yeah, I remember it for a long time. Yeah. Get something that you can keep to kind of remember the moment.
Voting is an important process, and many people believe that if you can, you should take part.
I feel like most young people should vote, considering that like for example, like when we were younger, like the only president we've really known growing up is Obama. So I mean that's like 8 years of our life, which is over like half of some of the kids in the high school's life. So I think voting is something important that everyone should do if you have the opportunity to do so.
With the candidates we got this year, I really don't want to vote, but I mean, if I have to, I will. And hopefully my choice is wise enough and good enough. So yeah.
Probably just drag myself in there and vote.
I say go vote. It is a privilege to vote.
I believe that it is incumbent upon us to exercise our right to vote and to make certain that we have a voice in the political process.
If you have any more questions about what's on the ballot, Ms. Shamlow knows
I would suggest University of Arkansas, their Public Policy Center publishes a nonpartisan, unbiased, research-based guide that shows both sides of all of the ballot issues. And I would suggest to young and first-time voters to read about the issues so that they have an idea beforehand of how they stand on each one of the issues.
This has been Sarah Vardal with Lakeside TV.
I can't wait until I get to vote.
NJHS is doing a food drive for the veterans. Representative AJ Navarro is here with us today to tell you all about it.
NJHS wants to make everyone aware of this semester's efforts to collect items for our deployed soldiers. We're beginning our class competition November 11th and collecting contributions November 22nd. Our goal is to collect baby wipes, packaged snacks, and condiments. The winning second period class will receive an ice cream party as a reward.
So make sure you donate what you can.
For our last story, the ALE community has been maintaining a community garden. Let's check it out.
ALE means more than just alternate learning. The ALE community garden has grown more than ever within the past year.
Well, when I first got hired at Lakeside, I started asking the kids questions like, what can we do at Lakeside to help you guys get more excited about learning? And they were like, Mr. McAfee, we need to do stuff outside. We need to move around. So with that being said, the kids said, well, let's start looking at a garden. And so we kind of created a strategic plan, and that's one of the things that was at the top of the list, moving around. And we integrate the garden with our science and our math classes. But the kids get to get outside, and they get to move around, and they've really enjoyed it.
The garden has become so popular, they have even had influential visitors.
Well, right now we've asked a few people from our community to come in. They're called Master Gardeners, and actually one of them just started working with us. I think her name's Miss Hines. She's a retired first grade teacher from the elementary building, and she's come in and she's continuing to teach.
When you think of gardening, you think of planting and cooking, but Mr. McAfee believes there's more than just that.
One of our long-term goals is to take them and to go to the local garden here in town where they can actually sell some of the stuff at the farmer's market. And we do have an ACE program. The kids have talked about getting enough food, tomatoes, vegetables, to actually give to the ACE to help feed people that need food.
The garden interested me, so I decided to jump in and see what they were currently growing.
6 tomato plants, so if I can get them produced,
You're good.
Yeah.
Mr. McAfee has been impacted by the garden, but the students have been inspired to do good with the garden.
Like a good person, because I ain't really had nobody to look up to, you know what I'm saying? If somebody look up to me, it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Learn something new every day you in there, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can just have fun in there, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, yeah, she threw dirt at the kid or whatever, but you know, goof off sometimes, we goof off a little bit, so it's pretty straight.
With the end of summer and the beginning of winter, the students have been working exceptionally hard to move all the plants into the greenhouse. This has been Garrett Roberts of Lakeside TV, signing off.
That's all for now, Lakeside.
Next week, Shelby Little and I will take Collin and Emily's places.
Have no fear, for the end is near.
See you on the other side.